In Ocean View, the beach renourishment project continues to fill the sand here in the Willoughby Spit area. Today we got an inside look into how the sand gets from the bay and onto the shoreline.
Beneath the calm waters of Virginia's rivers, millions of tons of sand are being excavated daily. Not just for construction, but potentially for something far more valuable. What if this massive dredging project is quietly uncovering rare minerals essential to today's technology, hidden right beneath our feet? As colossal machines carve tunnels and build man-made islands,
Different view on the ongoing beach replenishment project in Norfolk.
We have been tracking its progress for months now. A little more than 60% of the project from Willoughby Spit to Little Creek is finished tonight.
the story behind the sand itself is startling, raising questions about the environmental impact and the true value of this seemingly ordinary resource. This is not just about infrastructure. It's about an unexpected treasure buried in Virginia's riverbeds that could reshape industries and national security, Virginia's massive dredging operation. Beneath Virginia's seemingly peaceful coastline lies one of the largest and most ambitious construction projects in United States history. Every day, millions of tons of sand and sediment are extracted from riverbeds and floodplains, fueling efforts to carve twin tunnels beneath the ocean and construct massive man-made islands. This gargantuan task supports the expansion of the I-64 corridor, replacing 27 bridges and easing traffic congestion that has plagued the region for decades. The sheer volume of material moved is staggering, with extraction volumes comparable to filling hundreds of Olympic-sized swimming pools. This large-scale dredging is more than just logistical muscle. It's a carefully coordinated operation involving strict material testing, treatment, and approval before placement. State and federal agencies emphasize that the process serves to maintain navigable waterways, reduce flood risks, and supply crucial fill material for infrastructure projects. Yet, while surface pits across the coastal plain contribute most of Virginia's roughly 11 million tons of annual sand and gravel production, the sand sourced directly from underwater riverbeds presents unique questions. Observers have noted gaps in public documentation, sparking curiosity about how much material is extracted and where it ultimately goes. Virginia's waterways, including the James, York, and Rappahannock rivers, are central arteries for sediment removal, keeping busy ports operational and free from blockage. The dredging is officially framed as essential maintenance, part of the United States Army Corps of Engineers' ongoing channel upkeep program. Environmental impact assessments are mandated for all permitted operations, aimed at minimizing disruption to aquatic ecosystems and sediment flow patterns. Officials highlight the sustainability angle, removing excess sediment from one zone and reusing it elsewhere, painting the operation as both environmentally necessary and economically prudent. However, uncertainty remains about the fate of all dredged material once it leaves the riverbeds. Comprehensive public records tracking the full journey of this substance are inconsistent or incomplete, leaving room for speculation. Local researchers and residents alike have raised questions about the thoroughness of reporting and the potential for sand or sediment to be diverted for uses beyond standard construction. While these concerns don't imply wrongdoing, they introduce a layer of mystery that invites deeper investigation into the bigger picture behind Virginia's dredging. The magnitude of this endeavor also challenges the physical limits of engineering and environmental management. Dredging millions of tons of sediment from delicate riverbed environments necessitates a balance between progress and preservation. Each scoop of sediment affects underwater ecosystems, alters sediment flow, and potentially disturbs habitats for fish and wildlife. Yet, with the region experiencing some of the fastest sea level rises on the Atlantic coast, controlling sediment buildup becomes an urgent measure to protect infrastructure and communities. This massive removal and redistribution of sand is more than just routine maintenance. It's a critical piece of a greater puzzle involving the future of coastal urban planning amid climate change. As the region braces for increasing flood risks, the dredging serves dual roles, safeguarding transportation routes and supplying fill to shielding shorelines. It's a colossal interplay between human ambition and nature's forces, orchestrated beneath the surface where few witness the scale of labor involved. Amid this complexity, many are beginning to wonder if this sediment holds unexpected value beyond mere construction utility. The volume of material processed and the precision of its handling suggest that the operation may yield more than just infrastructure fill. Could the sand from Virginia's rivers be hiding secrets beneath its grains? Resources of strategic importance waiting to be uncovered through this vast excavation? This intriguing possibility encourages a closer look at the powerful machines driving the operation and how they manage to carve tunnels and transport this treasure trove from riverbed to highway engineering marvel, the tunnel boring machine. At the heart of Virginia's underwater tunnel expansion is Mary, a colossal tunnel boring machine named after Mary Winston Jackson. NASA's pioneering aerospace engineer with roots in Hampton, Mary, is a mechanical giant stretching more than 450 feet long, roughly the length of a football field, and weighing over 10 million pounds. This incredible machine is heavier than 7 Airbus A380 jets combined, yet exquisitely engineered to cut through soft, unstable seabed layers beneath Hampton Roads Bay. Mary's cutter head measures 46 feet across, capable of delivering an astonishing 27 million pounds of torque. Powered by 56,000 kilowatts, nearly 40 times that of a modern locomotive, the machine advances steadily despite the nearly impossible underwater conditions. Constructed by Germany's Herrenknecht, known as the Rolls-Royce of tunnel boring companies, Mary required 14 months to build. 4 months to ship across the Atlantic, followed by 4 months of assembly and half a year of intensive testing before commencing digging in 2023. The challenge beneath the waves is immense. Soft layers of silt and sand can collapse easily, forcing engineers to employ cutting-edge technology to stabilize the tunnel face. Mary's system injects high-pressure bentonite slurry, acting like a protective skin, allowing the machine to carve forward without causing cave-ins. Behind the cutter head, over 1,000 concrete rings, each about 20 inches thick, are installed continuously to form the tunnel's backbone, ensuring long-term structural integrity. Operating under such extreme pressure requires hundreds of engineers working in shifts around the clock. The control room incessantly monitors every detail to prevent leaks or misalignments that could jeopardize the entire excavation. To rotate the massive 5 million pound cutter head, engineers apply nitrogen slide pads, a low-friction technology never before used in American undersea tunnel projects, ensuring smooth, precise movements despite the crushing ocean weight. On April 17, 2024, after over a year of persistent effort, Mary broke through the final soil wall of its first tunnel. A milestone met with tears and cheers from the team. Project manager Janet Hedrick described that day as the most emotional of her career, underscoring the immense pressure riding on the machine's flawless performance. Yet Mary's mission was far from complete. To begin the second tunnel, the machine needed to be disassembled, rotated 180 degrees underground, then reassembled and recalibrated, a delicate 6-month operation critical to project success. By 2025, Mary returned to its task, now finer-tuned and more efficient as it resumed digging. The tunnel boring progresses slowly but steadily, installing thick concrete rings and pumping excavated mud ashore for treatment and reuse. This meticulous work ensures that the new tunnels meet modern engineering standards, including salt-resistant concrete designed to endure over a century, protecting against corrosion and flooding. When the project's expected completion arrives in 2027, Hampton Roads will boast 4 tunnels with 8 total lanes, 2 existing tunnels reconfigured for one-way traffic, and 2 new tunnels handling the opposite flow. This vast expansion is projected to serve around 150,000 vehicles daily, effectively resolving a decades-old traffic crisis. Mary's power and precision symbolize not just technological prowess, but the immense human coordination behind Virginia's future infrastructure. While Mary's tunnel boring dominates the headlines, another crucial story unfolds where the extracted sediments, those millions of tons of sand, are put to work, shaping entirely new landscapes. The creation of artificial islands. Rising from Virginia's coastal waters, massive artificial islands are rapidly taking form, serving as anchor points for the newly constructed underwater tunnels and supporting expanded highway infrastructure. These man-made land masses represent engineering marvels in their own right, reshaping the coastline and enabling seamless connections between submerged tunnels and surface roadways. One island, known as the North Island, acts as the gateway to Hampton, evolving from a small patch in open water into a sprawling hub filled with control towers, ventilation systems, and new bridge ramps. The scale of material involved in creating these islands is immense. Nearly 1.6 million cubic yards of fill, equivalent to around 480 Olympic-sized swimming pools, have been deposited to sculpt just one island. Meanwhile, the South Island, originally built in 1957 as a 15-acre foundation for the first Hampton Roads Bridge tunnel, has more than doubled in size to accommodate the colossal loads required by the new project. This island hosts Mary's launch platform, electrical substations, concrete storage yards, and even houses temporary accommodations for over 200 workers, making it a small floating city of activity. Construction continues day and night under floodlights, with cranes, trucks, and barges operating in constant flow to keep the project on schedule. The precise handling of material requires each load to undergo testing, treatment, and approval prior to placement, aligning with rigorous marine construction standards designed to ensure stability and environmental protection. Yet, the magnitude and care involved in processing these vast sediment quantities have sparked attention beyond traditional infrastructure circles. The transformation of hundreds of acres of ocean and riverine environments into functional land illustrates humanity's ability to engineer nature at massive scales. These islands are more than just support platforms, they are integral to enhancing transportation, with expanded highways reducing gridlock and providing safer, more efficient routes across the Chesapeake Bay area. The enhanced infrastructure directly impacts economic development, facilitating trade and daily commutes for tens of thousands of residents. But these islands also embody a complex interplay between environmental stewardship and engineering ambition. Careful sediment testing and management aim to limit ecological disruption, maintaining water quality and protecting marine habitats even as landscapes shift dramatically. The challenge lies in balancing growth and sustainability while constructing features designed to last for centuries against rising tides and climate challenges. Understanding the origins and potential secrets carried within this dredged material offers a window into the hidden complexities beneath Virginia's water surface, blending geological wonder with the future of American infrastructure. The intricate dance between excavation and island creation sets the stage for a deeper investigation into what lies beneath the sand and why it might matter far beyond construction alone, the hidden value of riverbed sand. Beneath the surface of Virginia's dredging operations lies a surprising secret. The sand removed from riverbeds may hold far greater value than simple construction material. Over the past decade, geological surveys have quietly revealed that sediments from the James, Rappahannock, and York rivers contain traces of rare earth elements, minerals essential for modern electronics, renewable energy, and advanced military technology. These elements, such as neodymium and dysprosium, are critical components in powerful magnets for electric motors and turbines, placing them at the heart of the global race for strategic resources. Researchers from Virginia Tech and independent geologists have noted that certain river sediments share chemical traits with known mineral-rich deposits, including monazite-bearing sands typically associated with rare earth elements. This finding reshapes the conversation around Virginia's dredging, suggesting that the abundance of sand removed has hidden strategic potential. Rare earth minerals are dominated globally by China, making any new viable source outside their control a significant geopolitical development. As a result, companies and governments have intensified interest in these deposits, even if official acknowledgement remains limited. While many assume that the dredged sand is destined solely for infrastructure uses like roadways or bridges, some local reports indicate that a portion of the material is quietly diverted to specialized processing facilities. Officially, this is classified as quality control or sediment analysis, yet the exact nature of these operations and the ultimate fate of refined materials remain opaque. Such gaps in public information fuel speculation that Virginia's dredging efforts may be part of a broader strategy to extract and refine minerals of high industrial and technological demand. The volume of sand removed annually, about 11 million tons worth roughly $180 million, makes these geological riches all the more captivating. The meticulous testing and treatment of each load before placement underscore the complex interplay between infrastructure needs and resource evaluation. Given the ever-growing demand for rare earth minerals worldwide, Virginia's riverbed sands could represent an untapped resource lurking beneath the familiar landscape. Globally, sand is the world's second most used natural resource after water, shaping everything from skyscrapers to microchips. However, not all sand is the same. Builders prefer river sand with angular grains for concrete stability, a far cry from the smoother grains of desert sand. This preference has triggered intense sand mining activity along riverbeds worldwide, driving a market that sometimes crosses into illegal trade. Turning sand into a commodity with embedded minerals elevates this resource from mundane to strategic, amplifying its importance. The presence of heavy mineral sands, rich in iron, titanium oxides, and crucial silica, further adds to the potential industrial and technological value. Minerals like magnetite and ilmenite found in Virginia's coastal plain have diverse applications, from steelmaking to high-tech alloys. Scientific studies by the United States Geological Survey and the Virginia Department of Energy confirm these mineral occurrences. Yet, detailed commercial viability and extraction levels from active dredging sites are not transparently reported. This lack of clarity keeps the door open for continuing research and public curiosity. Despite the promising geological data, confirmed evidence of large-scale rare earth recovery as part of these dredging operations is not publicly available. The theory remains speculative, but gains traction due to the specific geology of the area, the industrial interests involved, and partial disclosures from local experts. Whether the extracted sand undergoes treatment for rare mineral extraction beyond its conventional uses is a question under ongoing investigation by scientists and journalists alike. The environmental and regulatory frameworks surrounding these operations play a key role in shaping how this resource is managed and protected. Environmental and regulatory considerations. Virginia's large-scale sand and sediment extraction is governed by environmental assessments meant to protect water quality and aquatic habitats. Dredging permits require detailed plans for removal, testing, and relocation of material to limit ecosystem disruption and maintain natural sediment flow. While regulators aim to keep impacts within acceptable bounds, long-term monitoring data is inconsistent, making it difficult to fully understand effects on sediment transport, shoreline erosion, and potential contamination. This uneven reporting fuels community concerns and calls for greater transparency. Officials indicate that the dredging of areas with high sediment accumulation will lead to better navigation and to a decrease in flood risks, due to the fact that blocking the rivers with sediment is no longer going to be necessary. The practice of letting the dredged material reinforce the shorelines and so supporting the regional climate adaptation goals is certainly a good thing with regard to the situation in Virginia, which is already among the places on the East Coast experiencing the highest rates of sea level rise. Environmental protection and infrastructure resilience are the two main gains from this operation, but they will require careful coordination between the different sectors. The ultimate disposition of dredged sediments remains uncertain, especially for the materials that are taken off-site for processing or storage. Community organizations and scientists are requesting the government to provide better documentation that will track the entire life cycle of the sand and minerals that are being extracted. This could help in gaining public trust and in clarifying the environmental implications. It is already a complicated situation given the involvement of so many different parties, such as state agencies, federal regulators, contractors, and private companies. The fact that some contractors have been reported to be associated with the defense and high-tech industries has led to the question of whether the minerals recovered have any strategic value, although there have been no official statements confirming the extraction of rare earths. Environmentalists plead for a very slow expansion of the project and practically call for the first step to be more frequent assessments and adaptive management to be put in place to preserve the ecosystem. The establishment of regulatory frameworks needs to be done through interagency cooperation and public engagement to ensure that they are up to date as technologies and project scopes change. As environmental and regulatory factors shape how Virginia's sand and sediments are managed, the broader significance of these materials continues to unfold, intersecting with global economic and geopolitical trends that drive demand for rare earth elements. The importance of these resources extends beyond local shores, linking Virginia's dredging to worldwide supply chains and market dynamics, economic and global supply implications. Virginia's sand and sediment extraction stands at the intersection of local infrastructure demands and global resource competition, gaining strategic importance as rare earth elements become essential for technology, energy, and defense. With China controlling most of the world's rare earth market, alternative sources, potentially found in Virginia's riverbeds, could diversify supply chains and lessen reliance on imports. This positions the state's dredging operations as both an engineering effort and a potential asset in global economic security. Virginia extracts about 11 million tons of sand and gravel annually, valued at roughly $180 million. These materials support local construction and contain heavy mineral sands used in semiconductors, batteries, steelmaking, and other industries. Whether rare earth recovery becomes commercially viable depends on mineral concentration, extraction costs, and environmental regulations. The demand for rare metals is increasing globally due to the rise of electric vehicles, the use of renewable energy, and the production of high-tech electronics. The geology of Virginia, which includes possible monazite-laden sands, has attracted the attention of both the industry and the government. As countries try to be less dependent on foreign supplies, domestic sources become more important from a strategic point of view. Virginia's sands are still necessary for the production of construction materials, glass, and silicon, which are all rare earth applications that require high-quality grains that no desert sands can offer. Thus, the state is further linked to the national and international material supply chains. The importance of these resources is strategic, and therefore, they should be researched, innovated, and managed carefully to integrate environmental and community considerations. Virginia's dredging activities are under the scrutiny of defense-oriented businesses and might contribute to market stability and national security. The question is not whether, but how much of the future industrial and technological landscapes will be determined by what is below these riverbeds. Virginia's massive sand dredging is more than a construction story. It's a gateway to discovering hidden mineral wealth that could redefine global supply and security. As engineering marvels reshape landscapes, the true value beneath the surface challenges everything we thought about this humble resource. Stay curious, and if you found this insight fascinating, make sure to like and subscribe for more deep dives into Earth's most surprising stories.